Hi, everybody. How are you all doing today? Hope you're doing well. It's a really nice day, but I had to wait until the right time to take this video outside because my AI, now I got hair in my face. It kept telling me that my face wasn't clearly visible, and it told me all about the golden hours and when the best time was, which I found surprising, early in the morning or late in the afternoon as far as the best lighting. So here we are. I learned something new today and pretty much every day. So today we have an interesting topic that I just really thought of. And it was pretty impromptu, but I got a lot of good feedback when I brought it up on Facebook to some blindness groups and everything. I asked them about what it was like to be um, partially sighted, like have a little bit of vision, um, and to I asked them if they kind of that makes them sometimes feel as though they don't belong to either community, blind or sighted, because they're just right there in the middle somewhere. And so I really value their input. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to do this video because I'm not one of those people. I'm totally blind. Well, I do have light perception, but I don't really count that. But most people who are legally blind do have some vision. So before we get into that, though, I just want to make sure that to please ask you a big favor. Since this channel is still relatively new, I really need you to help spread the word and tell your uh, blind friends about it and your sighted friends, because I address both audiences, and sometimes I just talk about general issues not really even related to blindness or being sighted. I just talk about maybe technology or just life with my family or whatever I happen to be doing. If I see an interesting article, I'll probably talk about that one of these days. There's just a lot that I'm interested in. So, and in fact, tomorrow, it looks like I'll be going to a sock hop of all things. And if you're um, part of the younger generation, you might not even know what that is. But back in the day, um, young people used to have dances where they would wear only their socks to help, I guess, their shoes not get worn or whatever. I did research it, but I don't know for sure now if I have that detail exactly right. But I found that quite interesting because at first I wasn't sure exactly why it was called a sock hop either. So I'm going to play the organ for this, which I don't get to play very often. Um, and I plan on taking my glasses, of course. And the organ isn't typically what you would consider for a sock hop, but my friend lives in a retirement community, and he said we have an organ there that doesn't get used very much. So would you be interested? And he said they'll have other music there too. So my part of the festivities will just be like the in between times when they don't want to when they're taking a break from their typical sock hop music, I guess you would say. So, um, and also my recent video is one that isn't really geared toward blind or sighted per se. It's just people in general and the different. I was thinking about the communities that we inhabit and even sometimes the different personality traits that we might take on in different situations, which is a topic I've really found fascinating, especially in recent years. So, be sure to check that out. And so, anyway, I should probably start by addressing what is legally blind. And here in the United States, the definition is that you have vision of 2200. Like perfect vision is 2020, but if you have 2200, even after you have corrective lenses or glasses or whatever, and it's still 2200, you're considered legally blind. And what 2200 means is that you have to be 20 feet away from somebody or from something that a person with perfect vision could see at a distance of 100 feet or 200 feet, I mean. So that's why it's called 2200. So And then I also read interesting information about driving. Like sometimes people with not perfect vision are still allowed to drive if they have vision of 20/70. So they would have to be 20 feet away from something that a perfectly sighted person could see at 70 feet away. So there's your lesson for today, as some of the different terminology. Um, but anyway, when I asked this question, one lady named Haley said, "Yeah, I feel like this sometimes. I don't need a cane, although I can't see at night, and I might benefit from one then, but also I can't see well enough to drive. I do feel I don't fit in anywhere really." And then another lady, Leah, said, "I feel this in my bones. I have partial sight and I'm not blind in the traditional way where everything goes dark. I'm so highly sensitive to light that I'm basically day blind. It's confusing to sighted people because sometimes I can sort of function like a sighted person, but they get irritated when I don't see things they point out to me, or when I ask for assistance. I get flack from some of my totally blind peers because I do still sometimes have some vision. It feels isolating at times. I'd love to meet some others like myself, but we seem to be a rare breed." And sorry, I'm reading a little bit slower for some reason. When I like copy and paste from Facebook or something, my Braille display um, puts it in what's called grade one Braille. Normally, there's a lot of contractions and stuff in Braille, but this leaves all those out. So it takes me longer to read a word because there aren't any of the abbreviations that I'm used to. Anyway, then another gal, Lauren, said, "I have a foot in each world. Some people actively dislike partials. Sighted people think I'm a buzzkill or I'm a burden. Blind people act like I'm a poser. I am trying to enjoy the best from both worlds." Which I thought was a really cool attitude, that she knows that there is a positive side to both of like she can get benefit from the blind community and the sighted community. um, they get irritated when I don't see things they point out. "Oh sister, this is one of my pet peeves. I know they are confused because sometimes I do see stuff, but geez, I get annoyed when they won't leave it alone. It's right there, can't you see that?" That was in quotes. I feel like it's bullying sometimes. When I was a kid, this is another comment from somebody, we would go on road trips and I used a monocular to see some faraway stuff, and people would be like, "Look at the deer." Of course, I could not see them, and they would get so mad. I know some people also pretend to have more vision than they do at times. Actually, that's a comment that I contributed about some people I've heard. Oops, airplane in the background. Let's wait till they go past. um, but yeah, um, that would be frustrating. Going back to the previous comment about people thinking you can see, like, "Oh, look at that," and you don't want to feel left out. So you might sometimes be tempted to pretend to see something. Just to fit in, and not draw attention to yourself. You don't want people to feel sorry for you necessarily, but on the other hand, it's frustrating too. Um, and because then, like, if you do pretend sometimes that you can see more than you can, then at other times, I'm sure people would get confused, like, "Why could you see that the other day or whatever, or that far away that day?" And but um, like some people's vision does fluctuate from day to day as well. So that's also a thing. Anyway, here's another comment. I found myself doing this as a younger person, pretending that is, but it actually put me in more danger sometimes. It's also exhausting to mask like that, which I'm sure it would be to try to keep, like, remember what you, yeah. um, I am also highly sensitive to light and have only a little of my peripheral vision left. Only time when I see something when I am outside is right after the sunset, when it is neither day or night. And then another comment, yeah, because I still have some vision, but it's very hard to get jobs and stuff. And sometimes I think people in the sighted community think I'm making up my vision issues. They'll say, but you can do it, so you can't be legally blind, even though that, and but I only need a visual aid more at night. And I think I missed when I was copying and pasting. I think I might have left out a sentence there. Sorry about that. Sometimes the definition of legal blindness is hard to get people to understand because they assume if you say the word blind that you're completely blind. And it can also be hard when your vision changes over time, because like some people may not even realize right away that their own vision is getting worse and they can't understand why they can't see something that they used to be able to see, or they have to explain it to others. Well, I know I could see that at one time, but now I can't. um, so my personal rule of thumb is that if you know a person is low vision and you have doubt about what they can or can't see, just ask. I mean, I always would prefer that people would ask questions than to be all awkward and just be wondering, and then I don't know they're wondering something and they don't have the information they need, and yeah, it's just not good all around. So um, I think the best approach, I mean, if you have a good attitude, or like if they can, the person you're talking to that's low vision, if they sense that you're you mean well and you really want to know or whatever, most people do not mind answering questions, and that's just not about low vision. That's for blindness or anything. If they know you just really have a sincere desire to learn and to profit from what you learn, like apply what you learn, they're more than happy to answer your questions. Um, and of course, like a teacher, for example, if they have a low vision person or a blind person in their classroom, you want to be sensitive to that and like ask them if they would rather sit up closer to the front, for example, where they can see the board, or um, if the lighting, they can do anything to improve the lighting or whatever. But also, like, if some people might be more sensitive and you don't want to embarrass them, or like make them stand out, if there's a whole room full of people, some people might not really like you drawing special attention to them. But you could always, if you're the teacher, you could always wait until class is over and then just talk to them privately about it. um, and so yeah, I guess that's mainly, let me check the time here real quick. um, yeah, that's mainly what I wanted to say. But I would, if any of you have any comments, I'd love to talk about this further, maybe at some point. And I hope I did a pretty good job of reflecting your views, since, like I said, I've never had this issue to deal with myself. And hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.